Hello and welcome to Mobile App Development with Android. My name is Nelson LeKay, and with me here today is Mr. Stephen Curtis.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how much you like me in the videos, this is one of the few I'll actually be in due to time constraints. But this course was just huge. It came in at around 40 hours, and we did a lot of cool things. And there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about in this video. One of the first ones being that we are providing source code for the first time ever with this. And Nelson's got a little bit better explanation than that of it, so I'm going to let him take it away.
Well, we're not just providing source code. I had a Git repository that I worked on during the development of this video series, and after every video I committed with a note on which video that was. So if you look on the videos in the other sections besides the intro section, you'll notice that some of them are prefixed with app followed by a number, and that number is going to point to a particular commit inside the Git repository. So not only do you guys get the completed project, but you can also follow along with the videos and actually see what changed in each video. In fact, I think this is pretty cool, so I want to go ahead and show you guys how you can go about doing that real fast. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up from within Android Studio the project that is available to you to download. Now, if you don't have Android Studio installed or the Android SDK installed, that's fine. We talk about how to put that together in the next couple of videos, but I really wanted to show you guys the project and how the Git source control worked really quickly, so you guys had an idea about how to follow along.
Cool, let's have a look.
So I'm just going to hop over here to open, and I'm just going to paste in a path that I had where I extracted the file or the directory. And we're going to go ahead and give it a second to pop up. Now, a quick note about this application, while it's figuring out what to do, you do want to go ahead and, if it ever says something about a Git root or a VCS root, you want to add it. If you miss that dialog thing that just popped up, and like I did, jump over here to VCS and say import into, or bleh. You do want to go ahead and jump over to Enable Version Control Integration, and then select Git, and select OK. And that'll go ahead and make the application, or make this version control window appear. Now, you guys can certainly go ahead and create as many copies as you want so that you can watch or check out different versions of the app simultaneously. But if you hop over to the log window, you guys can see all the individual commits that I made. You can ignore these merges. So, for example, this merge would be considered to be video 61. And what you can do here is you could right-click on one of these and say check out revision to roll back the entire repository to that video. Or if you just want to compare your notes, you can simply select one of these lines and you'll get a change list over here. So as you see in this particular commit, I changed these files. And I can double-click on these files to get exactly what changed. So in this case, I added a whole lot of stuff to it, but in other cases, maybe there are only minor changes. But with this, you'll never miss a change, a delete, a insert, or a new file. I want to point out, however, that there was a small mistake with my resources, my icons.
Icons, yeah.
Yeah, that was my bad. I forgot to add them to the repository at a certain commit level. So if icons are missing for you, go ahead and just merge in the directory that's provided to you as the secondary download to this course assets. But anyway, so enough about that. Let's go ahead and launch the app and see what it does. There is going to be a little configuration thing you're going to have to do here, and that's over in the lower left-hand side, the build variants. And that's because there's two versions of this app. There's one that only runs on testing in-memory data, and another one that runs against the live database. So I'm going to select live debug over here to switch my code base over to using the live production code. And then I'm going to come up here to the top, and I'm going to click run. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to give this a minute. I'm going to speed up the video for you guys, so we will be back here pretty soon.
Minutes to us, seconds to you.
All right, with both my VMs started, I'm going to go ahead and select both of them and hit OK. And this will just launch this application on both devices simultaneously. So while it's figuring out that, let's bring them down here and let's show you guys the app. So basically, this app is a sort of social networking's kind of messaging app. Or maybe not so much social networking as much as messaging.
Kind of a messaging picture app.
Yeah.
Full of my silliness at the end of the day. But
Yeah, Steve is responsible in large part of what this application actually does. But let's start off with something basic. I'm going to do a registration on both devices. And over here, I'll just do Nelson Lackey 1, Nelson at 3dbuzz.com, and test. Let's go ahead and hit register. And then I'll just go ahead and do something similar over here. So Nelson Lackey 2, Nelson at 3dbuzz.com, and then a password of test. Go ahead and register. So now we have 2 accounts created. So what I'm going to do here is over here on the left-hand account, I'm going to do something cool. I'll show you guys. You can I created a profile page where you can go ahead and change your profile based off your camera. So here we have a built-in camera app doing that for us there. And so we can go ahead and crop that. And then you'll notice that it updates, and it also uploaded that to the actual server. I can also go ahead and add in change my other profile information and so on. Not incredibly exciting, but incredibly important for the functionality of this sort of thing. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to add this guy as a contact. So as you see, they're not contacts with each other yet. So I'm going to come up here and hit add. Now this is going to do a search against the database for display names. So I'll select Nelson Lackey 2 and I'll send a contact request. Go ahead and give that a second to complete. Now over here, you see that immediately received contact request appears. That's because we set up using Google's push notification service to handle that. So now I can come up here in my inbox, click on this guy, and accept his request. Now our inboxes are still pretty empty, so let's go over here and take a picture. So I'm going to take a picture that I would want to send to one of my contacts, and then I can type in a message like, "Hello, world." And I can go ahead and choose a recipient. Now in this case I only have one contact, so I only have one recipient available. And then I can hit send. And as you see, the message that I sent is immediately displayed on the screen.
except that's not the message that you sent.
Well, not quite.
It's one of the ridiculous messages I came up with. But that's the idea of the app, is it's meant to be kind of fun. You send some sort of ridiculous message to your friend that is not the message that you typed in, but you get to see what you sent, and they'll get to see that, and when they receive it, they'll then get to translate it to your actual message.
Right, and the way these are generated, it's kind of this ad lib generator, so there's a lot of combinations that we haven't seen all of them quite yet.
Yeah, and many times they'll just be ridiculous and may not even make any sense, but that would be for people that created a really clean database of words.
But anyway, now over on this device, I can actually click here on my received messages, and I can see the message from my other contact. And I can even come up here and hit reply, and reply with my own message. Notice how, down here, my recipient is already pre-filled in. So now I can hit send. And now I'll close out of this so I can see my inbox, and as you see, received messages appeared here.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And so now we see that we have messages from the other users. But anyway, so that's basically the app. It's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of code, however.
Well, it's pretty straightforward in use, but not in how it's created. There's a lot going on there.
Right, and I really wanted to show you guys how you might structure a more production style, or more an application that you would see in production more so than a simple demo of things. And with the stuff that we go through, there's certainly improvements that can be made on this app, and I kind of point them out here and there throughout the series and say, this would be a good exercise to go and do this again. We've already done it over here, but if you do it here, things might work better. Like, for example, push notifications on the contact screen isn't hooked up, but since we enable push notifications on the inbox screen, it'll be a great exercise to hook that sort of stuff up and put that together. So there's a lot of room for people to kind of expand this app and kind of make it their own.
Well, there's no better way to get in there and learn than to get in there and play in the sandbox, or the playground, so to speak, which brings us to the next subject.
Right, so I'm using a live API right now, and the API that I'm using is this, which I put together. Now, what this is it's once you are done, or once we're done putting together the UI, which is all pretty much based on the in-memory representation of data, meaning we don't need an internet connection, we can test things deterministically, we don't need an API, very much simplifies the testing and development. And then at the last part of the series, what we do is we hook it up to a real live API that's hosted on 3D Buzz servers. And this is where you would go to sign up for that. Now you scroll down here, once you accepted our terms and condition and privacy policy, you'd come down here, you'd fill out this form, and you would generate a new sandbox. So for example, I could fill out this form myself again. And what I have here is an API token. And now every API request that I'm going to make to the servers is going to include that token. And as long as you include that token, everything will be isolated. So you guys can have your own little isolated environment to play around with it, not step on other people's toes.
And it says so right there, but we can't emphasize enough, write your token down and save it, because you're going to have to completely recreate your user account if you lose that and have to regenerate one.
Right. Everything is segregated. But yeah, that's how you would actually be able to test this against a live server. Again, please read the terms and conditions carefully.
All right.
Alrighty, so yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be building, and it's going to be a bit of a journey, but let's go ahead and get started, I guess.
Yeah, we got a lot of hours to cover, so we may as well go get to it.
Yep. We'll see you guys in the next video.